You know, since I teach part-time during the week like this, I only have a little bit of the afternoon each day to work on these projects, and it's always a question of what takes priority. And looking at the coming thaw, I'm thinking that the thing that I need to do today is continue working on clearing the pasture. The fact is that once it becomes true mud season, getting on that pasture is not going to be so great for it. You know, the grass as it's coming up is awfully delicate, and I've already locked the steers and the horses off of the pasture, and really, once it's really muddy, I'm not going to want to be out there as well. My goal is to get a lot of the branches and other things that I cut down off, especially the hill over by where the horses are, where there's a lot of exposed dirt. I'm going to be attempting to frost seed some clover in there once we have a little bit more of a warm-up, and I want to be ready for that. Guess who won't be bothering me while I'm working on wood today? All these guys. Right, Tarsi? Sorry. Now that it's thawing, I've had to lock them into what's called the sacrifice area. And they're not especially happy about it. But the fact, oh yes, I know, Thora, right? The fact of the matter is, though, that if they were allowed into the pasture, they'd pretty much destroy the green grass that's coming up. I do have a plan to put them out in the field where we grew some corn for them and put the electric fence up a little later so that they're not stuck in here until late April when I can open the pasture to them. But for now, they're going to stay put right here. You can see the hay feeder that I built them the other day. I've been feeding them hay right on the ground. This is all stuff I can scoop up and add to the fields. But now that it's all mud, I don't want them eating hay off the ground anymore. Well, it's not a project we're going to finish today or tomorrow or this weekend, and it looks like we have another cold stretch coming. So we'll work at it. We'll light these piles on fire, we'll spread out the ash a little bit, and a little later in March, I'll have some clover seed, and the idea is to frost seed that into the pasture. What does that mean? It means that when the soil expands and contracts as it freezes and thaws, basically that seed can work its way downward and there can be seed to soil contact. And that gives the seed a much better chance to take root when it germinates, and you end up with a lot more clover in your field. This is part of our pasture reclamation effort. There are a lot of natural grasses here, and I couldn't till this in and plant with a machine planter or anything. As you can see, this is ravine. So the question is, how do you improve this pasture? How do you add some legumes, clover's a legume, so that there's more protein content and the animals that are on it are healthier and grow better and are more content? And frost seeding is, as I've read about it at least, a good possibility of making that happen. It's not fail-safe. You have to get the timing just right. If I do this too soon, the problem is that whatever comes up will die, and we do have a cold snap coming in about a week, it looks like. But you don't want to do it too late, because if you do it too late, then there won't be enough frost to do its work. So I want to get the timing right. For now, I'll clear branches, I'll get these burned, and I'll bide my time and watch the weather. On days like this, as spring springs, I can't help myself. I have to look at the maple sap buckets. I have to take my daily trip out to the field. Is the garlic coming up yet? Of course it's not. The soil is frozen. But I can't help myself. I have to go take a look.
No, nothing in that one. Not much in that one.
There was a little trickle of maple sap that very first day when I tapped, but there hasn't been much since. That first trickle really did surprise me. I didn't expect it, since we had gone from very cold weather to barely warm enough weather. So, you know, we're in March now, but the fact that we really haven't had the sap run here is actually not too surprising. It'll come, slow but sure.
Look at those chickens enjoying their freedom. Guineas over there being loud. Hi. How are you? We open the chicken coop right now because there's nothing really that the chickens can destroy, so they might as well enjoy themselves and forage a little bit. Well, the snow's starting to melt out here. Little patches of gray showing, and over here there was squash last fall, a lot of pumpkin actually, and then we put the horses and the steers out here and had them up here. You know, the horse trailer was a little shelter for them. They were up here all through to when the snow started to get heavy and the electric fence wasn't much use. And you can see that there is plenty of manure, and we'll be ready for some plantings of kale and Brussels in this area. Goodness, only months away. They also had access to this area, which was garlic last year. I'll be spreading some manure up here where later plantings of kale will go. Have to let things thaw just a little bit first. Well, here behind the in-laws' house is one of the things that I wanted to check on. You can see the snow is almost wholly gone, and this is all mulched. These are all rows of garlic. And I want to reach under here and see what there is. Doesn't look like anything's coming up yet. Not that I'd expect that it would. The ground is pretty frozen still. So this is all garlic over here. This area was Brussels and kale last year, and you can see that I spread manure in January actually. There are rules about when you can apply live manure to a field when you're selling products for human consumption. And since this area will be zucchini, which will hopefully harvest maybe even late late June, it's very important that I got the manure application on to fit that window. You can see all those little palm trees. This is what's left of the kale plants. This is from last season. They look so sad and dead now. They produced a lot of kale for me last year though. And here's the big field. That one garlic field was just a little supplement to the big field. There's some of our specialty varieties in the smaller field. This whole field here, probably 9/10 of an acre, is German white, which is our main variety. Looks like we had a little bit of mulch blow off here. Yeah, mud on top, but definitely solid frozen soil underneath. It's going to be a while. The first green thing that I expect to see actually is not the garlic, because the garlic is under the mulch and therefore the soil will take a little longer to warm up. But I also planted a strip of wheat just for our personal use alongside the garlic when I planted last fall. And this I expect will green up sooner than anything else out here. Well, here we are below the big field, and you can see the strip of exposed soil. And you can see some of the wheat seed there. I'm looking for any green. Not much, if anything. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Nope, there we go. Look at that.